What's up, guys? Michigan Air Gunner in my little office doing a little bit of different video. I reached out to VEVOR to see if I could get one of their compressors to kind of do a budget type setup, I guess. So this is about 280 bucks, somewhere in there. But this is made for filling 1 liter bottles or smaller. This is said to fill a 1 liter tank from what I read online, from 0 to full in 25 minutes. So I do not have a 1 liter bottle with a valve on it to fill that up. So what I have is basically like a 2 liter bottle. I'll show you the difference. This is a 1 liter bottle. Like I said, I don't have a valve on it. This is a little bit bigger bottle. This is more of a buddy bottle. But I have this down to about 2,000 PSI. So basically half. I figure this is about half of this. And what we're going to do is we'll do a timer test, see how long it takes to fill it. Anyway, so this is the VEVOR. This is a liquid cooled and air cooled. It weighs about 20 pounds. Not terrible for a compressor. And having the liquid cooled is much better option in my opinion. I've had lots of little compressors that do not last long because they cannot keep up with the heat when you're outside. If it's 90 degrees and you're trying to keep this guy cool, it's really hard to do with air only. So I decided to have them to send me the liquid cool model. This thing sounds like a jet plane, all right? So this thing has 2 fans in it that spin around 1200 RPMs. Once you turn it on, it sounds like it's not too bad, and then them fans start hitting and it gets loud. So definitely not a in your living room filling it up while you're trying to watch TV compressor. So what you get with this is you get a pack of extra filters, O-rings, burst discs, deadhead, spring, everything you need to rebuild this thing on the fly. You get your fill whip with pretty much a standard filter everybody gets. I would recommend upgrading this to a little bit better one. And you get the connectors to hook this to your car. We're not going to do this today, but this is an awesome option to have if you're just out in the field, especially if you have a gun that's good for like 30-40 shots. Just go out, fill it, walk around the woods, come back, fill it up again, you're good. What else do I want to say? Oh, comes very well packed. 1-inch thick foam all the way around, top, bottom. Also, super fast shipping. It came within 3 days of them saying, all right, we'll send you this. I believe it came from their Amazon shop. Yeah, so everything was really nice, packed, real quick shipping. Now we're going to see how fast it'll fill this bottle. I think this will work for just about anybody. This will be my second run of this. I did a video and I figured it was way too long. It was like 20-some minutes. So we're redoing it. Anyway. This thing takes less than a half a bottle of drinking water. And what I recommend is purple ice. I know a lot of people are going to have their own say, but this thing literally says in the instructions, fill enough water or car coolant. This says fill enough. It doesn't give you a level. So basically, I took the thing off, put water in it, or my coolant mix. This is about a 50-50 mix right now. And what I did is I just kind of poured it in there, turned on the pump, let it cycle through, and then topped it off. I am just below the spout inside here. I think that'll be fine. Alright, so the first thing you want to do when you get one of these is you want to hook this guy up, keep your deadhead in here, and just make sure everything functions as it should. This thing does have an automatic shut off, and what we're going to do is kind of just see how long it takes. I did one earlier. I believe it took about 17 seconds. So I'm going to fire this guy up, and you probably won't be able to hear me. Want to make sure your water pump is on. Always have the valve open when you start it. You don't want to start this under pressure. We're going to hit our timer. Took us about 23 seconds to go from 0 to 3,600 psi. I don't know if you can see that. So always double check to make sure everything's working as it should. Next, always bleed your valve before disconnecting anything. That should be common sense. Let the pressure out. That way nothing bad happens. High pressure air, there's always a risk of something happening. So the better you have a routine to keep track of everything, the safer you're going to be. Also, I would recommend putting a little sticky note up here or something for your first run showing how long it took you to get to your desired pressure. So that way later on down the road you can test it and see if it's taken any longer, and then you'll know if something may be wrong or something needs to be replaced. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to hook this up to the tank. Like I said, we're at about 2,000 psi. Actually, we're a little under that. We're just going to see how long it takes to fill this to 4,500. This is a 4,500 rated compressor. So on this we're set to 4,500. These gauges can be a little bit different, but we're just going to kind of see what happens here. First I need to see if I can find this guy so we can hook this and this together. And basically I'm just going to turn off this camera, turn on my phone camera, and have it watch what we're doing. So, hold on. Alright, so we're set up on this camera to kind of watch the timer and the compressor, and we'll just kind of speed through how this is going to go on the main video. That way it doesn't take forever. So, we got our bleed valve open. We have all this shut down, and once we get up to around the target pressure, we'll open the tank. Alright, so I let it cool down a bit before I turn this camera back on. We were at 14.56. So roughly, we'll say roughly 15 minutes to take this tank from roughly 200 psi up to 4,500 psi. Our temp never went above 35 degrees Celsius. I did take a little video clip and I'll put that in with that. But yeah, all in all, I mean, I think that's a very successful run. 15 minutes to take what you would drop this down to before you had to refill it. Nothing. That's nothing. 15 minutes. That's you walking around, doing your shooting, getting done, maybe having a lunch break, fill your tank back up, go back out doing what you're doing. Super impressed with this. Before we go, I also wanted to show you the instructions. Everything has pictures to show you how it connects, what's in the package. Very, very well illustrated. Not so well verbally, I guess, because like I said, it says fill enough water or car coolant. It doesn't really tell you an exact level, but I'm sure you can figure it out pretty easy. But anyway, I'm hoping you guys like this little bit of a compressor video. This is something everybody needs to get started, and like I said, I highly recommend getting air and water cooled just to kind of help your compressor last a little bit longer. If we get enough views on this, enough likes, hopefully we can get their bigger compressor and fill a couple tanks with it, see how long that takes. So anyway, till next time guys, keep shooting.